So, the Philadelphia 76ers. I've already recorded videos that I'm going to be releasing throughout the day, just talking about the Sixers in general, talking about how Paul George, the free agency signing, looks like one of the worst. Obviously, hindsight worst. At the time, everyone thought it was huge. One of the worst in hindsight free agency signings in a long, long time. But now, we have to look at it like it is, like it was a bad one. But now the Embiid situation has made this look even worse. And if you guys are new to the channel, lads, subscribe. We are uploading more NBA news, trying to be as quick as anyone to this. Obviously, what you sacrifice sometimes for quality, you make up for in quickness and output. So obviously it's not going to be the highest quality, the highest edited, but it's going to be quicker than everybody else. If you guys want that, subscribe. We're trying to hit 3.75k by the end of the day. We're 105 off. But anyway, we have got Joel Embiid right here. And we know about the team meeting. So we all know that there was a team meeting for the Philadelphia 76ers where Tyrese Maxey called out Joel Embiid for being lazy, for not showing up on time, and said, it all starts with you. It all starts with you. And it's like, if we want to win, it all comes down to you. You're our leader. And when Joel Embiid was asked about it, this is what he said. According to Tony Jones, who covers the Jazz, Nuggets for the NBA, for the Athletic, so obviously a reputable enough source. So when asked about Monday's team meeting in Miami, Sixers star Joel Embiid said, whoever leaked that is a real POS. Also, it's kind of annoying having to do the same things over and over. I'm guessing that's not a quote. Live look at Philly, dumpster fire. Seems like he could change the narrative, what do I know? Thought Embiid had some favorable PR after the Olympics. And I don't understand why it's like favorable PR. Oh, I'm going to go play for Cameroon. He could have played for Cameroon in the Olympics. That's what people don't realize. They're like, oh, the only reason he doesn't play for Cameroon is because they weren't in the Olympics. Dude, he decided, like 3 years ago, he said he was going to play for France. Cameroon had multiple chances to make the Olympics after he said he was going to play for France. And then he changed his mind and said, I'm going to play for the USA. When he decided to play for the USA instead of France, by the way, Cameroon were still in Olympic qualifying. And Cameroon were 1 game off making the Olympics in July 2024. Like 9 months after Joel Embiid said, I'm not playing for Cameroon, or I'm going to play for America. So 9 months later, they were 1 game. They were 1 game away from making the Olympics. That is the most bullshit excuse ever. And he knows in FIBA's rules, you are not allowed to change nationalities once you have represented a country. He knows that, especially at the senior level. He knows you are not allowed to just change, especially if it's at the Olympics. They won't just let him play for Cameroon. He knows that. He's saying that I'm going to go and play for Cameroon because it sounds good. But he knows, 1, FIBA won't allow it. And 2, he knows he could have and chose not to. Like, that's the reality of it. Guilty, take the truth being hard. Good on Maxey for looking for more than him. Didn't address what it was about, though. It's amazing people don't just bow down and give him everything he wants and worship how good he is. But it's all the other stuff, like, when you look here from years ago, with the staff having to sit down Brent Brown, like, in his second year and be like, Joel Embiid has disrespected every single one of us. Like, so much stuff like this coming out about him. It's like, he just seems like he almost feels like he's above everything. And like, that's the thing. It said, Joel Embiid said he welcomed criticism. Among other things, Embiid took accountability for being late and told the media he plans to improve. I need to be better. I need to be perfect. I need to be on point, which is what I'm going to do. Just don't show up late in the first place. I'm sorry, like. If you never show up, he was called it for being on time or never being on time. I'm sorry. Like, being like, oh, I need to be perfect. Like, this thing was like, I need to be perfect. Man, that's not being perfect. It's just time management. I'm sorry. Like, it's the first step. Showing up on time isn't being perfect. If you were anyone other, like, if you were a bench player and you did not show up on time and you were constantly late for things, you would be cut. You would be cut. If you were Jared McCain and you were showing up as a rookie, late for everything, you would be sent to the G League. You just get preferential treatment because you're Joel Embiid. Not getting preferential treatment and trying to be a leader isn't, I need to be perfect. You don't need to be perfect. Just show up on time and play hard. It's as simple as that. Show up on time, play hard, and if you're injured, sit out, and that's fine. If you have an actual knee injury, sit out. and make sure it's healthy. Don't go and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to play back to backs, and then look like a shell of yourself when you play, and then have a team meeting, basically be calling you out for your lack of leadership, and then saying whoever leaked it is a POS. At the same time, like we all know, the likelihood is that your best teammate leaked it. The likelihood is that I don't think Tyrese Maxey himself leaked it. I would not be surprised if Tyrese Maxey was talking to someone who was talking to somebody and then it eventually got out. Like, that's realistically the way it is. Or somebody in Tyrese Maxey's camp. Or it could have been like the Poole situation, where supposedly it was a coach who really didn't like Draymond, like a coach or someone on staff who didn't like Draymond, they got it out. Maybe it's someone on the coaching staff that really doesn't like Joel Embiid. But the fact is that you have, like, this locker room is a disaster. This team is a disaster. And realistically, a big reason why it is a disaster is right there, number 21. Number 21, he's a big reason why the team hasn't won a ring. 2019, their best chance, he was terrible. He's been injured every year in the playoffs. And even when he hasn't been injured, he hasn't played well in the playoffs in his career. Like, he is a big reason why. So, it's like, that's the thing. It's just frustrating looking at this, where it's like, there is a massive I'm not even going to say, there's just a lack of accountability when it comes to Joel Embiid. Because he's just like, he's just a really good player who, the more you look at everything, he's just so unlikable. He's just so unlikable. And look, I'll take a side in some situations. There are situations where I think he's completely in the right. Like, look, 3-game suspension for shoving that journalist. Worth it. Worth it. After what that journalist said, worth it. I'll defend him for that. But for a lot of other stuff, you just can't. It's just indefensible. And like, look at some of the replies. Maybe don't be lazy then. Insanely glad Embiid isn't a franchise player. He's more mad at reporters this year than his team underperforming. Don't say stuff you don't want leaked. Team meetings should always stay private. In fairness, yeah. Shouldn't be leaked, but regardless, maybe they thought Embiid needed to be publicly embarrassed. Yeah, maybe it's that. But it's just frustrating looking at Joel Embiid, where you're looking at a guy who is an absolute physical specimen, who should have been this generation's Shaq, and now with all of that said and done, we're looking at a guy who's just, if anything, might go down as one of the biggest wastes of talent in NBA history. So anyway, I'll see you guys.